Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Today is our lesson on rational expressions. And today we're going to look at the multiplying and dividing of those patterns. And for the first example, we found example 2. We have 3a cubed divided by 2b squared times 10b cubed divided by 9a squared. And following the 3 rules that we have, state restrictions. So notice again the restrictions are we're looking at the variables. Right, so this is b squared in the denominator, a squared here. And we're trying to factor. Well, it's done because these are all monomials. Everyone agrees? There's nothing to factor. Normally you factor like a binomial, a trinomial, or a quadrinomial. But these are all monomials, so there's nothing to factor. So we've done the first step. But now we state the restrictions. And in this example, I think looking at this rational expression, b can't be 0. One more time, if b was placed in here, or that 0 placed right there for that number, we would be doing some division over 0. And that's, again, would make that undefined. So that's the first one. The next one, I think everyone agrees, the other restriction is a can't be 0. Because again, that's a. A and b can be any number but the number 0. So those are our restrictions. So we've done that now. And again, we're only looking at the denominator. But this one's actually nice, because we're now going to just start dividing up, and hopefully I'll go slowly enough, and maybe some of you might have to pinch your screen at home if you're watching. I like doing coefficients first. I like doing coefficients. So I look at the 3, the 2, the 10, and the 9, and it's not always going to be in this pattern, but this 2 can go in this 10 5 times, and this 3 goes into this 9 3 times. Again, it's not always going to be that way, but a lot of you know that I am dividing out. Then we do the variables. When you're dealing with the variables, though, we tend to be using the exponent rules. That's why I had to review those exponent laws. So if some of you are following along, a squared and a cubed. So that's going to change that 3 to a 1. And same thing, this b squared and this b cubed, that becomes a 1. Now it looks really, really messy, so follow along if you need to. Doing the coefficients first. 1 times 5 is 5. And then a times b, AB. 1 times 3 is 3. And I think that's it. So notice our final answer, 5/3 AB, or 5AB over 3, is the same thing. Those are the restrictions, and that this answer, it looks like there is no, there shouldn't be any restrictions, but there are. We're always looking at the original question before we continue. Anyone from the class have any questions about what I just did? We could definitely do this division because they're all monomials. So moving the screen over to example 3. Hope that's okay. C. Sorry, attempt to C. May have made it way too over. Oh. We have x squared plus x minus 6 divided by x squared plus 2x minus 15 times x minus 3 over x minus 2. And again, that's why, ladies and gentlemen, in grade 9, we told you guys, don't just start multiplying things out, right? Even though technically you could, but you're going to get a trinomial in the numerator, trinomial in the denominator. We don't do that. That's why we try to simplify and divide out. So we have to factor first. So I think, hopefully the class will double check Mr. Chen's work, because I'm doing this on the fly. X squared plus x minus 6, I think that's x plus 3 times x minus 2 times x minus 3. And in the denominator here, x squared plus 2x minus 15, I think that's x plus 5 and x minus 3. X minus 2. Someone just double check that I factored that carefully? I should. If I make a mistake, please say, thanks, Emma. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Tough crowd. I think secretly you guys hate me. I don't know. This Chen guy is not Mr. O. Mr. O is so good. Anyway, so the restrictions, now that we factor first, well, let's get someone in the class. Can we get someone new, perhaps? Someone that hasn't said anything. Maybe, I don't know, Ivan, maybe, or Fiona, or Noah, or maybe Noah said that. I don't know. Anyone want to try it? If you get it wrong, who cares? First time. You're looking at the denominator, right? Any volunteer that I mentioned? Fiona, do you think you can give us a restriction? Do you think you can tell us, or? If you get it wrong, who cares?
X can't be -5, 3
Beautifully done. No, she didn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. At home, she didn't stop. She looked at all three of these denominators. Nice, way to go. Whew. So that's what you do, right? State the restriction. I always recommend that you do that right beside. Now, some students say, can we put this at the end or at the beginning? You can. I'm just trying to show you where you're looking at the lesson. But then we start dividing out. And again, I like using colored chalk. Let's move this over so people can see it a bit better at home. Sorry. Noah, do you think you can tell us what we can divide out? Take your time. Do you see anything on the top and bottom of this massive fraction?
I don't think so.
I think that we can, because they're all multiplications. Marina, you want to help us out?
The x minus 3.
The x, here's let's do the first one. X minus 3 here in the denominator divides up this one.
And the x minus 2 can be divided up.
And as well the x minus 2 in this second one. Get out of the way so we'll see. Because it's all multiplication. And some students say, but Mr. Chen, what the hell? There's no brackets here. But this is actually implied, right? With a rational expression that's written this way. The numerator and denominator actually have those parentheses. So our final answer, Arina, do you know mine?
Yeah, sure. X plus 3 divided by x plus 5.
Nice. And just to make sure everyone's at home, notice what I'm going to write in red is wrong. This is wrong. If the student did this, oh, what about that? 3/5. What are you talking about, Sean? The reason why you can't do this because again, they're two different binomials. Right? So this is incorrect. This is not the same. So I'll erase that so no one sees that. And that's a simplified answer. Notice with multiplication, it's as if they were all written all along, right? Any question from the class? Any question from the class? With these two examples? Try right now if you want to do example B yourself. And then you check with your neighbor. And I'm just going to pause the video.